Welcome to the two grumpy men, C. Grooms and Bobby May in the building.
What it do? What it do?
Yeah, we got the cameras off. Listen, it's pandemic, you know. Sometimes you don't feel like shaving. You know what I mean? This ain't feel like showing our face. How about that? But we are live. We in the building. Come through and check us. You in the group? Come through.
No doubt, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
What's good tonight? What we got?
I don't know. We got some questions.
Yeah,
we
got a few questions from listeners. You know that want to know. We asked a lot of questions.
All right.
In our DMs and chats.
Well, you know what? All right. So let's shout out to everybody that's going to eventually join us. We see you out there. You know, this is streaming in the group only. You know, this is a privilege for being in the Two Grumpy Men group. Facebook user, I can't see your name. What up? I can't see your name. If you give permission, I think they'll show your name, if I'm not mistaken. But all is well, fam. So let's get it going. What's the first question, Rob?
Okay, hold on. So, got a DM. Actually, Facebook and Instagram, wanting to know what was Grumpy Men's take on the state of sports, and you know, basically during this pandemic, should these players be playing? Is championships valid? You know, and then it said that the second part of that question was that they love the NBA, but they don't understand why they came back so early. And do the Grumpy Men believe that LeBron James is hurting the NBA?
Damn. Okay.
Is his brand hurting the NBA? And you know, basically, they had some things they said in there in reference to, you know, the way the league is being played now, and you know, is all based on the LeBron effect. Players, you know, everybody's more worried about their brands. Everybody's wanting to team up with star players. You know, they just believe that the NBA is, you know, has basically gone astray from, you know, love of the game and more of, you know, just players playing for brands and trying to be, you know, more so money and fame. And basically, you know, everybody complains to get their way out so they can go hop on play with their friends, or, you know how we've talked about it before, but, you know, they may be a new listener. And that was the question. And, you know, that was their question.
All right. Before we even get into, that's a multi-layered question. So before we get into that question. Yeah. So let's first, since the pandemic is still going on, today in college basketball, because Damien just brought that up. Young boy, I can't remember the college right now, off the top of my head, but he collapsed and he's in critical but stable condition. Now,
was that Georgia or something like that? Is it Georgia?
It was a college basketball game. I'm gonna look it up in a few, but I don't. You know, it's scary because this is the one thing that I was afraid of when I was talking about the message that's being sent. Like, what messages are we sending by having these young kids out there? And I call them young because they're in college. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting paid to be there, not overtly. You know what I mean? And the money that they do receive to be in that school is nowhere in comparison to a professional player. So, University of Florida. Thank you, Dehan.
Okay.
So you playing college basketball. If I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking they're saying that this is kind of COVID related. You know, we pass out and collapse. I mean, because, you know, the effects of the virus is multi-layered. Like, this is the second instance that I've heard where, you know, somebody basically, you know, fell out, collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've had any type of flu before, anybody that's had the flu can tell you that when the body shuts down, it shuts down. So it's a wrap. You know what I mean? So if you out there playing and moving around, like you could fall out. Like you could think you good and you'll just collapse. And I think that that's scary because we're supposed to be out here. It's supposed to be a pandemic, right? It's spreading. There's no doubt about it that the virus is real. So I want to kind of curb people away from the dumbass shit, to think that, oh, well, the virus isn't real. No, the virus is real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He had COVID this past summer. That's even worse because now that you really think about it, since if he had COVID in the summer, that means the body has to recover from the ailment. Now, just because you feel good 5 days later, 10 days later, look at what happened to Cam Newton. He had COVID and he looked like shit. Can you make the correlation? Probably, because your body has to get retuned. And these is high level athletes. Don't get it twisted. For people out there that probably don't get it. A professional athlete, their job is to keep their body in tip top shape. This is what they do. The college athlete is almost right. It's under the same tier, especially at that top level, because their body has to be in a certain condition as well. I mean, that's just what it is. And this is healthy individuals. That's a game changer for me too. Like the kid fell out and passed out. You know what I mean? But so my question, I guess, to the person that asked the question, how do we feel about the COVID? I think that if it's the virus is real, it's out there and it's spreading, right? Then why are we taking the risk by having sports being played like that shit is essential? It's not essential. When you really think about it, look at all the cancellations. They had teams that this in baseball, football, basketball. Basketball had a little bit under more control because it seems like they were in a controlled environment. They was in a bubble.
In a bubble, yeah.
Yeah. So, and with that premise, you're in a controlled environment, so you could kind of control it better because as long as people are not leaving and coming in and out. But when you got football, you're still traveling. You still out here, and these are grown men. Yeah, you could tell somebody don't go here, don't go there, but you're still rolling into a city. You're still out and about. So the confusing part to me, here it is as a fan. What's confusing to me is that you have a pandemic, but you have people playing sports like there's not a pandemic. It doesn't matter how many people are in the stands. You got people out and about. We still traveling. We still going city to city. We still having meetings. You're still practicing. And I always thought that this was crazy when we was watching the NBA games in the bubble. Dudes are sweating on top of each other. But when they go to the sideline, they got their chairs 6 feet apart. Am I stupid? Am I supposed to be fucking stupid? You know what I mean? Like I know I'm a viewer and everything. I'm not supposed to be smart. But I'm watching the game. Y'all are sweating on each other. Playing, like close proximity. Same with football. But you want the coaches to have on masks when they outside in an environment that's supposed to be technically controlled because there's no fans really there. Y'all all been around each other for the whole week. Basketball, y'all been testing multiple times. Y'all out there, y'all playing games. So why are the chairs 6 feet apart? After a game is played, you got the boom mic where you got the reporter standing 6 feet away.
With a mask
on, talking to the player. And I'm like, yo, you was just courtside. Even with your mask on, you're in the controlled environment. So it's like the visual message that they want to send, like, oh, we care about the virus, but we still got to get out here and make this money. That's where the narrative comes from, the $40 million slaves. Like, that's where that comes from. Because if you really wanted to shut down, it's a money thing too. You only gonna get like I forgot what it was, 55% of your salary, or But okay, so in layman's terms, 55% of a salary. Now everybody's not making $20 million a year, okay? But however, let's say I'm a $1 million player. I make $1 million. I'm getting 55%. Or is it 35? Whatever it is. If I'm getting 55% of my salary, let's use that for example. That means that I'm gonna make, instead of making $1 million, I'm gonna make $550,000. Not bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's if you show up. Now, where the players union became important is if they had sat down and really negotiated the deal and the terms, you could have still got your money, but just did it. It would have been laid out differently. You had to really iron out an agreement where you still got your money regardless, because it's supposed to be guaranteed. We be ripping the football players, right? Because their money's not guaranteed. So other than the clutch sports management guys, I think it's like 9 or 10 of them, they were going to get like 95% of their money, regardless, whether they played or not. So what's wrong with the rest of the agents in the league? Well, why did y'all have that type of deal? Why not everybody get their money since it's supposed to be guaranteed contract? So what are we really doing here? What's really going on? Like, what message are you sending? I want to know what message are you sending to the people that you can still play sports, but there's a pandemic. You got people that lost their job.
Well, when sports first was coming back in the summer with baseball and basketball, it was based on that, this would help take people's minds, it would take people's minds off of what was going on, because people always need some form of entertainment, to get through things. So sports has always been that vice for most people when things are going on in the world, to help try to, bring people together. So I think that was the rallying flag that they was, going with. Do I agree? No, because when the pandemic was in the summer and things was going on, I felt that, sports wasn't really an issue. It wasn't something that was needed, and those, pretty much wanted to come back because they wanted to get paid. They wanted to get paid because the league, the owners, and them were, pretty much, going to lose a lot of money, TV money and things that they've already been paid for and may had to give them back because the product wasn't out there. So, I thought that was like, and then it was also the protesting going on during that time when sports was trying to start, and, some basketball players was deeply involved, and some was just there for the check, and some, some of them did get sick. For instance, Russell Westbrook was sick. He got sick. He wasn't the same when the playoffs and when to get back out there and play. And it goes to show there is lingering effect when you do catch it. But once again, what have you done to, after you've gotten it, to, take care of yourself and to be in shape again, to get back on the field or whatever you do, pretty much, we athletes, we've been there, you've been injured and you've wanted to come back and play. You may not be you'll say I'm good to go. But you got a sprained ankle, you really ain't 100%. You can still hoop, but you ain't 100%. You probably, you may be out there 80, 85% because the ankle it feels all right, but it ain't really all right because it ain't fully healed yet. But because you want to play, you go out and play, and so the same thing was, you mentioned Cam, who, he's looked horrible since he's come back from being out on COVID, wise and all that, being sick with COVID. So, I think, that's big. Like, it's really actually ruining him. It's ruining his opportunity. And, me personally, I said it earlier, I felt like he should have just sat out this year because he was already coming back from an injury and he needed to, this was the perfect opportunity to take that time to be able to rest up for 2 whole years, get your body back, get in shape, get ready, come back. Hopefully, things is moving in a different direction. You could go out there and, you rich. I'm not counting his money, but I'm sure I'm sure he's not broke. You know what I'm saying? Like people out here who lost their jobs or their businesses are closed down and so forth. So, he had that opportunity to take that time off, and because football players was allowed the option to opt out. Like, if you don't want to play, don't play. You know what I mean? And the way he got released, he got cut after free agency was over, and he was already on an injury, and teams had already found their players. So, he could have waited till the season, or, because there was a lot of opportunities that now eventually opened up when dudes got hurt, and he didn't. He came back. He was learning a new system. It's not the way he's usually to play. He's not used to playing for a Bill Belichick system. This is, it's a little more disciplined, more rigid. So you have to, you gotta, that takes time to prepare and get to understand the system. And, then get sick with COVID. Other players on the team got sick with it. So, I mean, is it, I just don't think that sports is just like, is that important at this time and moment. If people are out here hooping and hollering and that they need that people, that common folk need to shut down their businesses and can't make money, then, what is that saying? Like, the common man can't make money, but he's supposed to turn on the TV and tune out his problems by watching another man who can make money. So, I mean, I don't understand that shit. So if somebody can explain that shit, I'm all for it, because I don't think I'm going to be too highly entertained knowing that I'm not making any money. But meanwhile, somebody else, I'm supposed to tune in and watch somebody else who can make money. So, and they're not restricted because they have money. So they presumably have the better care to take care of themselves. And meanwhile, you're fighting to take care of yourself, your business, your livelihood, and everything else. I don't know. I just don't. That message to me in sports is I still stand by that. I don't think they should have played. I don't think no sports should be played. I don't think any of it is taking anybody's minds off of it, because players are still getting sick from it. So how are your minds being taken away from when it's already brought into the sports arena? You know what I mean? The players are sick, so coaches is getting sick. I mean, come on. It's not, you know what I mean? They're human just like everybody else. They're acceptable too, So
I agree with you. So then hopefully that answers that part of the question when somebody asks, "Why do we feel about games being played?"
Mm-hmm.
Because in reality, they really shouldn't be being played. I mean, if there's a pandemic out here and it affects everybody, like you just said, if I turn on my TV, is that going to take my mind off of the fact that, my business is shut down? If I work somewhere, like if I'm not deemed essential, but i.e. expendable, because there are essential services where, it don't matter what the hell is going on. They're going to be out there working. Police, fire, hospitals, things of that nature, corrections. But cab drivers, bus drivers, you know what I mean? So they all front line. They all on the front line here. So, because it's all about tourism, especially here in the major cities, New York, Atlanta, LA. LA is built a little different, it's laid out different. But the bottom line is tourism brings money. So if it's about taking your mind off of something, I would suggest reading a book. I would suggest reading the Constitution. Like, why don't you read the law? You know what I'm saying? Like, take advantage of this downtime. You may not want the downtime, but as we learned from the young man who collapsed today during the game in Florida, they said he had COVID in the summertime. That wasn't that long ago. The body, everybody's body reacts differently to flus and how they fight. It's really that simple. That's why you can't really come up with a cure, because everybody's body is different. Now, I mean, we could get into that later, but I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
Now, but that's how I feel about sports. Sports didn't help me take my mind off of the fact that there's a pandemic. It didn't take my mind off of the fact that there were kids who are being, they're at home, they're doing electronic learning. Hey, that's not a bad thing either, by the way. I just wanted to put that out there. That's actually a good thing. But here's the flip side of that good thing, that there are people who have to go to work and they got to send their kids to the building anyway. So when you send your child to the building, you know, they're going to be locked down in whatever room that they're in. They're going to move with their class if they move at all, because I don't think that they're moving. They're going to eat together. They're going to learn together. They're going to be masked up in the school. Like there's very limited movement. That doesn't sound like a great educational experience either. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they can go. They're not going to gym, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you know, because you're not moving around the building like that. Whereas the kids that are doing electronic learning, they can do gym wherever they at in their home. So it's kind of like if you gotta work, it's almost to the point where we're being pushed to make a decision. I say we the people, you're being pushed to make a decision. Do I stay home with my child and lose my job, or do we send a message as a people and say, you know what, y'all, oh, well, you know, I will set you up with babysitting or, you know, child care or this and that. If it's a pandemic, it's a pandemic. So if you force it everybody but essential workers to stay home, then you need the financial piece. You got to cut the check, and they're not cutting the check. I put up a graphic earlier. You know, people got $1,200. It is now 9 months later. So $1,200 per person for the family. Okay, for the family of, you know, it's capped at 4,000. Actually, it's 3,900, but it's capped at $4,000. So let's say a family, you know, 2 adults, 1,200. That's 2,400, and you got 3 kids. That's 1,500. So it's 3,900 for your household. Now, if you do that math, it seems like, oh, okay, 3,900 divided by 270 days. Yeah, that pushes it up. So instead of you getting $133 a month, you know, because of your check, you're really pushing closer to $300 a month. You know what I mean? So you got $300. I mean, on the average, because of the amount of people. Because you're talking about 5 people for your household. But to go and get $4.44 a day, a $1,200 check for you to last 270 days is $4.44 a day. Okay, for you. Who the fuck can live off of that? Who can live off of that? But this is what I would have to deal with, right? So I'm getting $4.44 a day, but I'm gonna take my mind off of the pandemic, the fact that, all right, I can't work, but I got this check that I'm waiting on the second one that hasn't come, right? But I can turn on the TV and watch sports and watch this dude. They get the check, but yet they're out and about. Are they taking a risk? I don't know, but they're in a bubble, right? Basketball was in a bubble. Football was traveling. Baseball was traveling. It was times where damn near the whole team couldn't play and they had to cancel games. Baseball came up with a 60-game season because that is the amount of games where they couldn't lose anymore. They couldn't lose money. So it was all about profit right there. So all about profit. They played the amount of games that they could play because anything after that, they would lose money. So what does that tell you? And they give you the opportunity to opt out in football. Dudes did it. They opted out like, nah, I ain't doing it. And players started getting it. So yes, in my humble observation, it's not an opinion, it's an observation. No, they should not be playing if it's a pandemic. That's if it is. The virus is real, but if you're going to shut it down, then shut it down, send the money. That's the only way you could do it. You got our kids. Some people, they opened up the school buildings here again in New York, where you can take them to the school building if you want to. They did that from the buckling of pressure from people who had to go to work. So here we are. Here's a dilemma. Do I go to work or do I stay home? Do I allow my child to be a guinea pig or do I stay home? Because you got to consent to the testing itself. Do I want my child getting tested in that manner? No, I don't. Come up with another manner. Do something else. I don't need something sticking up in their nostrils, going to their nasal cavity, touching their brain. I don't need that. I don't want to think about that. If somebody gets sick, you know, movies tell you the truth a lot of times. I saw a movie, it was pandemic, kids was in school. Somebody got sick. They locked down the building. Nobody could leave. They kept asking the teacher, when could we leave? Teacher's like, oh, well, I don't know. We're just here right now. That's real. That could actually happen. But I don't want to, I ain't trying to put no more fear in people than that's already there. But that's a reality of what we're supposed to be going through. Now, other cities are out and about. In the cases, they rising. The virus is real. It's going to keep rising. But to say that a vaccine is going to control the spread, well, I mean, we'll find out, because we got to figure out what's the percentages of the stuff that's in we know what's in the virus, but we know what's in the vaccine, but what's the percentages of the stuff that's in there? Then you got to look at the people who are going to get sick from it and the people who are supposedly going to be immune from getting the virus at a later date. Everybody's body is different. So there's no foolproof thing here. But if there's a pandemic, then there shouldn't be a damn thing going on. Shouldn't be no sports being played. That's for sure. Now, well, what was the other part of the question? Because that was 2-part. It's actually a 3-part.
Yeah. So the next part was basically they were saying that how did we feel about LeBron James, and was he ruining the NBA with his style or whatever, his imprint of what he's put onto the game. And I was like, I'll address the question, but I'm not gonna because I mean everybody has their time, and it's his time, and this is if people feel he's successful in doing what he does, so the best form of flattery is to copy what you've done. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna give the most honest answer that you'll probably hear, but outside of us, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give you an honest answer on the whole LeBron James situation. Yeah, D-Ham, yes, Canada. Before I answer that, Canada and other countries. Canada, for one, they're taking care of their people. They are. They are. There's other countries that are taking care of their people. Now, granted, the dollar value may be considered less, and the populace of where people live, maybe it's going to be smaller than the USA 300 million people here. Like, I get it. However, I understand the financial part of it. With fiat and all of that stuff. I get it. But here's the bottom line: is this: people are being taken care of. This is supposed to be the wealthiest nation, right? Quote unquote. But people are getting $2,000 and $3,000 a month since the pandemic even kicked off. On top of that, some countries actually have free health care. So not only are they getting money to stay home, they have free health care, and they're getting money to stay home, because if the virus,
so they're getting money, and some countries they're getting money in half of their checks too.
This is right. This is what I'm saying to you. Some people are getting 70% of their pay, right? They get 70,
some 50, 50, yeah.
So if you're getting checks from the government and you're getting from your job, since you're mandated to work from home, you're getting 50 to 70% of your actual salary. It makes sense to stay home to stop the spread. So the greatest country in the world, I put country in quotation marks, you can't do the same thing. Yes, we have 300 million people. I get it. Okay. But as I read all of the various proposals that got thrown on the table, it's almost laughable. You got the $500 billion one that McConnell came up with, that there is no stimulus check. He's a joke. You want protection for the businesses. If somebody gets ill on the job, you don't want them to be able to be sued for being at the job when it's a pandemic, but you ain't giving no money to the people who can't get work. And then the people who have unemployment, you want to cut that from 600 extra to 300. Okay. I mean, all right, I'm not really on the that wave, but 300 extra is 300 extra. Like, extra's extra. I get that. But you cannot keep out a stimulus check in a time like this when people are out of work. You know what I'm saying? Like, when things are just not open. You know, in different cities tell you different things. Like in New York City, the courts are not open. They only taking emergency cases. They only
Yeah.
hearing certain things.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? But the thing that is crazy to me, there's a pandemic. They're about to shut down indoor dining again in
Mhm.
New York, but you can eat outside.
Mhm.
But you're not supposed to be outside. So
Mhm.
how is that like if you're outside and the pandemic is outside, they don't know whether it was one time it was airborne, then it wasn't. Now they don't know where it's coming from, whatever. But people can eat outside,
Mhm.
but they shouldn't eat inside.
Mhm.
But they're outside. But you want people to stay home. So here you go. You're gonna roll out the vaccine. Oh, and that's supposed to cure everything. Kids. Oh, okay, here's my question because I got a question for the masses too. Here's my one question. You ain't got to answer it all at once because you can't. But here's the question. If okay, President-elect Biden wants to shut down the virus, right? So that means you want to put things in place to keep the virus at bay. So the vaccine is obviously part of the solution, right? So if that's part of the solution and you want to keep it at bay, how are you trying to open up the schools and shut down the virus at the same time? And people are going to be home. How does that make sense, people? We got to use our brain, like put it all together. Don't have separate parts here. Put it together. You want to shut down the virus, but you want schools to be open, but you don't. You're saying that a stimulus check could be in the workings, right? So you're dangling it. It's not there yet. But then the first thing, the one power that a president-elect does have when he comes into office, he could sign off to kill student loan debt. Let me tell you something. During the pandemic, you can get a forbearance or a deferment. Okay? So your student, I don't need your fucking student loan shit. You know, I can do that on my own. Unless you're gonna sign a check to say I don't never have to pay it again. You're gonna pay it off if it's under $50,000. Let me tell you something. A lot of people have more than $50,000 worth of college debt. Okay, because you've been pushing college since the 1940s. Okay, so it is what it is there. But all right, so let me not, I didn't want to rant on that. LeBron James. Okay, let me tell you something about LeBron James. I think that what he has done since, well, let me give you a little history. I knew LeBron James. In 1997, I knew about LeBron James. He wasn't even in high school yet. Okay, so when you look at a kid and you say, "Damn, that kid's going to be good," I mean, you don't try to put it in a perspective like this kid is going to be the GOAT. You know what I mean? Or he's going to be considered a GOAT.
Mhm.
But when I saw the kid play, you know, back then he was a kid, you know, 13. I said, "Yeah, this kid is pretty damn good." You know, like for what he was doing and his IQ. So now fast forward, he gets drafted. Excuse me, he gets drafted. He comes to the league, and some things change. You know, hand checking is eliminated. Has nothing to do with him, or maybe it does. It doesn't matter. But the rules change.
Mhm.
He still got a ball out. He didn't make the playoffs
Mhm.
his first 2 years. He came in. He did his thing. They didn't make the playoffs the first 2 years, but you knew that the kid was still special. He came in the league dropping 20 a game.
Mhm.
Okay, he had his crew of his homeboys. All right, on the outskirts. He
Mhm.
was, you know, they was with him. They was rocking with him.
Mhm.
He had a different agent. I think he had Leon Rose, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So he had a different agent. With that contract, the initial contract is up. He gets rid of the agent. He puts his people, his boys, in charge of managing him, the marketing, the promotion, the brand, everything. So all of these things that these young entrepreneurs that are out here using the lingo, it's about the brand. It's about the brand. If you want to learn how to build a brand, you got to look at.
Mhm.
You can look at LeBron James' model. Like there, people been getting deals. Athletes. The first person that I can remember off the top of my head would be Julius Erving, Clyde Frazier. They had deals. They had sneaker deals. Dr. J was in movies. Like they set the template. But when the mass media, social media came into existence, and 2004, yes, there was social media back then. It wasn't like Facebook, but they did have Black Planet and MySpace and things like that. So These things were out there. Anyway, he built his brand with his team of people, young bucks. You know what I mean? Like they was in the industry, they doing their thing. He made a lot of money, and he's the face of the league. Everybody has their time, like you said earlier. Jordan had his time, Kareem had his time, Magic and Bird had their time.
Doc had his time.
Doc had his time. Kobe and Shaq had their time. You know, they shared a little bit with, you know, LeBron was like LeBron would you be called like a bridge. You know, he bridged the gap between what would have been Michael Jordan and Kobe. You know, Kobe, Shaq, Duncan. That little group that was in there, Garnett and them. It was a lot of guys. The McGrady's of the world, all of that. But you know, LeBron, his business model was just geared around what they wanted to do. Like, yo, I want to manage players. Now, LeBron couldn't do it, but his man could. That's a smart play because when you get on, you fire the agent who they basically assign to you when you come in. Like you're a rookie, here, yo, just go to this agency and he'll take care of you. And then you realize, yo, I'm giving 3% of my money to this guy. He don't know me. He don't care about me. He just making money off of me. I'd rather give my 3% to my man right here. My man who used to sell me jerseys out the trunk. Like he's a pure hustler. So what do you have to do? You got to learn that business. You can learn a business if your man is going to be the face of the league. You can learn the business if you just stay around it. Now, again, you had to build up the respect level. He's been in the game a little while now. He's got some respect. They may not like his movements, how he moves, because he's kind of like, I'm taking care of my people, and that's it, meaning his players. But if you look at what happened with the guys on the Clutch Sports Management team, they all got taken care of. Now, granted, Clutch was, I'm not going to say they were bought out, but they do have a parent company that's over them now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get it. So that's an acquisition. You're in the business to make your brand reputable to be funded by somebody else, but you still have some control over your brand. Nobody's saying anything about Exxon when Mobil's doing their thing. Like nobody's saying anything. You could be on Instagram right now, but Facebook own that. You know what I mean? So nobody's saying anything about that, except now the judges who came down and said, Facebook, y'all need to chill because y'all becoming a conglomerate. Y'all got Snapchat. Yeah, I mean, not Snapchat. They have WhatsApp. You got WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Y'all got too many things that y'all own and control. So they going to break that up. You know, just like the sports entertainment world, like ESPN and all. I mean, you can't own everything. But LeBron James,
I think also, I think the question, you know, is also they felt like the league has, you know, it wasn't really necessary. You know, I don't think the branding part is a bad thing because it showed cats how to be businessmen and how to move in this business, which I think, you know, which is a good thing. I think more so the question is about, you know, how the game has changed as far as players wanting to team up and things like that, and how people and how, you know, they believe like, you know, he has such a big voice. He has a voice. And if he would have said, no, don't play in the pandemic, then players wouldn't have played. But he didn't do that. So, you know, people feel, I mean, you know how we've talked about LeBron for years.
Right.
And, you know, whether we like some things and we don't like things. But I think during this pandemic, a lot of people were rubbed the wrong way, again, because sports was on. They're making money. They're talking about, well, you know, if we don't get back out there, we're not going to get our money. And, you know, basically people who you want people to watch who don't have jobs are not getting money. And now they look at, you know, hey, they look at you and they look at, you know, everybody always, they want to point the finger at somebody. They want to point, there's always going to be a bad guy in a scenario. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that was pretty much what they was trying to say, trying to ask if, you know, how we felt, if we felt he was the reasoning for the way the NBA is now. I mean, I don't think, you know, I think he has he has he has some imprint on that, I would say. But also, dudes is different. You know, they're different. They raised different. They come from different thinking. A lot of these cats are born in the social media era. Age has a lot. It's the youth. They moving different. You got to remember these guys who are coming in now. Yes, he does have an effect on things because Jordan had an effect on him, and but and he put his stamp down, and now dudes are more like following his script, and and the things
let's look at it like this then. Remember when they first talked about the bubble? LeBron said, "I didn't want to play in an empty arena," and then a couple of days later, he said, all right, well, I'm for it." They don't have a choice. They gotta understand it's a multi-billion-dollar business. Like he's the face.
Yeah, so if they, that's one of the things. That's what they're saying. Like, if he had the opportunity, he said that. I'm glad you brought it up. He said he didn't want to play in an empty arena, but then next day it's like, okay, we'll do it. It gives off the impression that somebody pulled your coat and was like, no, we don't need that because we need to get back out there because we got money on the line. You understand?
Right. And he was getting his money regardless. Remember, he was getting 90. He gonna get 100% of his salary whether he played or not. Regardless. So if he would have said, so his power to say, "Yo, I don't think we should play," it would have held weight because for on face value because I'm getting my money anyway whether we play or not. So I don't think maybe you don't need to say anything, because they was gonna play anyway. They just made you come back and change your position. Say, all right, maybe I will play. You have to play. Mm. They call in the strings. So, but again, I say, what is the message that's being sent? Is it a pandemic or not?
Yeah,
he's getting his money regardless. So they didn't have to play. Is there an asterisk next to the Lakers chip? No, you can't put an asterisk because it's the same thing as a shortened season in '99 when they had
exactly. That's what that was the same thing when they asked me. I was like, nah, you really can't put it because then, Tim Duncan won his first chip in '99 in a shortened season. The Knicks got to the chip as an 8th seed that season and played them, and it was like what I don't even know how many games they may have played, like 50 games or something like that.
Something like that.
So I mean, so I don't think you can say you could put an ad, Nick, but in I don't know if for me, I don't know if I would. I'm not. I never see Tim Duncan talking about the '99 championship than when he talks about the other championships, like when he beat the Heat and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like right. The '99 championship, you won, but
it was different.
Yeah, it's different. You know what I'm saying?
It's different.
You got a chip. You got your chip, but it's like also. That's why I say I don't want to say you put an asterisk negative because you still competed, you won, and this is what it is. You got your chip, but it wasn't the way you would normally get your chip. You know what I mean? Like so, yeah, I got one. I got it. We won that strike shortened season. We won that pandemic season. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron's already LeBron's already been stamped. Because he already had 2 before. You understand? So that one was more, is what, like I told the person, it's more like Anthony Davis, turn. And he was like, Anthony Davis is the one that, if he goes on to win more chips, then he probably won't even think about the pandemic chip. But if he don't, then that's all he got to hold on to, and he's not going to turn that away because he's a champion. You know what I'm saying? So why would he put an asterisk next there? Because this is what was laid out for them, and they went through it and won. So they're champions.
It is what it is. Like they played. They had to play it.
They played.
So,
they had to play it. So they played it, and they won. You know what I mean? That's how it is. So, but once again, yes, to that question, to that person, to my good person that asked that. I know when you hear this, you go laugh, and you probably gonna give a call back and DM us. But yeah, LeBron does have an effect on the league, and though we may be older and we may not agree with some of the things that's done in the league, it's their league. It's a younger league. It's not the league that we once knew. So, you move with the times. Do we agree with everything? No. We're going to still be grumpy to certain things that they do in the league because of what we like to see. But, it's his turn to rock, and this is how he chooses to rock. And those that follow him, so be it. That's, the KDs, it helped him get a chip. He joined up with the Forces to help get him a chip. That's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. AD joined up with LeBron to go get a ring. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Well, LeBron joined up with D Wade to go get a ring. Yo, let me tell you something about that. Like the whole.
It don't work all the time, but it works.
It don't work all the time, okay. But there have been super teams forever, man. There've been super teams. Come on,
the Lakers was a super team when they had Magic, Worthy, Kareem, Michael Thompson, Kurt Rambis, Byron Scott.
Can we put it in its proper perspective too, man? It's like they're only
Bird had Parrish and McHale and Ainge and Johnson.
Right.
Doc had Mo Cheeks, Tony.
Moses Malone,
Bobby Jones,
right?
So I mean,
and Andrew Toney,
you know what I mean. So it's like, Isaiah had Dumas, Lambert,
Rodman,
Sally. He had
Aguirre.
Like, it is. This is what. Listen, like that. That's the thing. Before we're gonna end it, but. Everybody had teams. Jordan was, Jordan had Pippen, he had Rodman, he had Kukoc, he had other dudes. Grant. He had Grant too. So I mean, listen, everybody needs help. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line.
Everybody. One
man ain't gonna win it. I mean, if that was the case, AI could have won a chip, one man band, but he needed more help to go up against Shaq and Kobe.
And look who he had. He had Tito Ratliff, Aaron McKee, Eric Snow,
broke down,
and Dikembe Mutombo, and an old ass Derek Coleman at the time.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Come on.
And so I mean, like, if he had more help, I'm sure he would have won. He would have got a ring. But no, you know what I mean? You do need help. You do need help to get over that mountain. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get over that mountain usually by yourself. No matter what people believe, Jordan had help. He had Pippen. Whether you believe, whatever you want to call Pippen, whatever, he had Pippen. Pippen in the championship, showed up, did what he was supposed to do to help him win. So, and Grant and a couple of some shooters,
he got some
Kerr,
pieces,
he had some pieces. So, whatever, however you want to look at it. He had about 3, 4, 7 foot centers. Come on, man. He had bodies.
Yeah, interchangeable. He had bodies. So.
He had bodies.
Bill Cartwright.
So, yeah. And yes, when you are the superstar of a league, you do put an imprint on a league. And if it's working for you, other people will follow it. And because they believe that's the path to success. So yes, people are following LeBron's thing, and then yes, it may rub some people the wrong way, but that's just that's the direction it's in right now, and we'll see who the torch gets passed to, and how they want to carry the league from that point moving forward after the LeBron era is over. So
yes, and it's gonna be a tough toss up. Right now, you would think the torch would probably be passed between Anthony Davis and Giannis. Like, that's where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then, they do want people like Ja Morant and Zion to come up in the game. You know what I mean? Like, that bridge is going to be tough. I'm going to tell you right now. The bridge between Giannis and Zion is going to be tough to fill that. Ja Morant probably going to have to be the guy.
I think I think if Zion can live up to it and get and just get and continually get better, I think it's his for the taking. You know what I'm saying? I think it's his for the taking. I think Greek will be he'll be a factor in one of the dudes who's been one of the main points in the league because he continually gets better. John Morant definitely will get better and will become a player. And but I really think it's I think it's the Zions, the Anthony Davis, Greek. I think it's those dudes. Their turn is coming. I mean, yes, LeBron is still great. He's still in the league, but AD now is going to start having to carry a bigger load. LeBron's getting up there. I mean, you can't beat Father Time. He ain't going to keep doing it. I know he puts $1 million into his body every year or so, but it's just what it is, bro. Them dunks, them takeoffs get slower and slower. You know what I'm
saying? Maybe they haven't noticed that, but
yeah, like those lift offs and things like that. I mean, it was the bubble. I seen him get his shit rubbed a few times in that bubble, and I'm like, back in the day, he would have just banged it on you,
Right.
So, I mean, yeah,
it's definitely something to think about. I mean, but. I mean, he's the guy right now. So, but there's no action.
The guy right now who they feel have the chance to do it is Leonard and Greek. Zion still has to show and prove a full season that he can do something. He only played a certain amount of games last year.
24.
Yeah, so that's not enough to really say, bam, you're gonna put your stamp on. Yeah, you was exciting in those games. But, you ain't get your team in the playoffs or anything like that. So we'll see what it does this season where he got a real big man in Adams, things like that.
Yeah.
And, we'll get more into it.
I think, he's about five years away from being the impact guy that they expect him to be.
You're saying 5 years?
Yeah, because that by that time LeBron will be out the league. You know what I mean? And then Anthony Davis.
I don't even know if he's the dude like they think he is, his time should be now.
With Kawhi and KD still around?
KD coming off injury, we don't know what the hell he's going to look like. I don't care what nobody says.
That's true.
I got to see him play a whole season or at least see him, see what's going on with him, see how he's feeling. Yeah, it's all good to light motherfuckers up in free play. But when the game time, and pushing and shoving and stepping on your foot, we're going to see what happened, baby. Like, I'm not saying he can't do it, but we'll see. Kawhi Leonard, he has a lot to prove because he showed that he showed last season he wasn't a great leader. He wasn't the leader that was in Toronto, or was Toronto really Kyle Lowry was the leader and he was just the superstar, or, the baller. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, who's the leader? Because he's not a vocal leader. He's not the type of leader that leads his men when, down. He tries to do it by show. And sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you got to really yell at dudes or show that you're the leader in the huddle, in the locker room, keep guys together. So, it's going to be big. He's going to, I think he's definitely going to be in the conversation. He's still a great player. And Greek, Greek and Greek is going to have to, he continually gets better. I will say that the jumper it's still ugly, but at least he was hitting them. He works hard, so his jumper will improve. Now, if he adds a jumper to his game to the likes of KG, he can be a real, real problem. He can be a real dominant player with a jump shot. Because he can get to the basket and he's buffing it on you. You already know that. But he needs, and will he stay in Milwaukee? Is Milwaukee, can Milwaukee build his brand? That's another thing. So we'll see, and those questions will be answered down the line. But
I got a LaMelo Ball update for his preseason debut. There's the Raptors. He had 0 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, 16 minutes. So, you know, he gonna have some he has a learning curve to. I'm pretty sure he was nervous as hell. But you know, because rebounds is, you know, that's effort. A lot of times rebounds is straight up effort. Just play hard, you know, go bump bodies and stuff.
But 6'7" too.
6'7". Well, it's actually 6'8" without shoes, they said.
He's so still growing?
Yeah, he only 18.
Yeah. Okay. So he may be 6'9" before it's all done and said.
Yeah, he's still gonna have to learn how to shoot.
Yeah, like his brother.
Brother sucks. But
I mean, he know how to run a team though.
He
can run a team.
He could do that.
He can't shoot though. He can play some little deep. He plays some defense. He can play some defense.
He's a good backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. No, but he's young too, so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. You got to grow his game.
He got to grow into his game. So, all right, that was that question.
All right, what's yours? What you got?
I don't know. I guess my question was, if you have to make a choice between staying home or losing your job because they want to force you to take, let's say your job says, you know what, take this vaccine or you're going to get fired. It's a tough ass choice. You know what I'm saying? But how long do we as a people continue to, you know, basically work with our backs against the wall? Because they putting the pressure on you. You know, take this or go home. You know, you got to feed your family. You know, hey, ain't no check coming either. So, you know, I mean, I think here's what bothers me. When you look at that scenario, because that's real, take this vaccine or I'm going to fire you, right? Fire, you get unemployment. Okay, so you can get unemployment for a little bit. There's your bright light for that. But here's what bothers me. We have people that represent your district in Congress and Senate. They can't agree on whether to give you a check or not. That should tell you something. There's a problem. The people that should be up there, supposed to be representing you, should make sure that they're taking care of you. You should be getting a check. The person who represents your district, you know, like your congressional area and things of that nature, your assemblymen, you know, they're supposed to make sure that you getting a check. There should be no debate. You go, they up there, they go, they vote, they meeting. They take more vacations than they actually meet. Now Congress is on vacation. I mean, well, allegedly, you know, because they trying to hammer out some deal. Senate took 2 vacations since the summer before they decided on whether they was going to
and they taking vacations on the American people dollar.
Word, well, the facts. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, you know, they're playing a game. They're playing a game with you.
Yeah. I mean, we talked, like you said earlier, like, I mean, this whole pandemic, the United States is giving their people $1,200. They've given their people $1,200.
$4 a day.
They don't even want to give you no more. They're trying to hammer out whether they should give you more money. Another $1,200, like 8 months, 6 months, whatever it is later.
9
months later. Yeah, whatever. This they got them in April, so it's like 8 months later. Right?
Yeah.
They still trying to pay. They're trying to figure that out. They took away giving unemployment people their $600 to just get the regular shit. Prices ain't go down. Prices has gone up.
Especially food.
Stores is gouging prices.
Gas.
Right?
Yep.
But once again, people out here feeling that they need to, you know, do things. You know, it's holiday season. How's you holidays? What do you know, people ain't got no money. So stores is going to suffer. Businesses are going to suffer. So you ain't got to worry about people suing their employees if they don't come to work, because them jobs and those businesses won't be there soon. They're all going to be closing soon because nobody has no money to do any of that shit. They don't have any money to do nothing. Like movie theaters is closed. How are they making money? The movie industry is suffering. They're trying to figure out how they can charge you $20 to watch the movie in your house. What? Like they want to charge $20. They want to charge $20 to watch the movie in your house. No. That's just crazy.
I'm sitting in my house paying my, entertainment bill, and you come with HBO Max. I'm just using them as an example. We in Disney Plus and all these different platforms that show all these movies
that you got to pay for.
But I ain't got no money.
How you gonna pay for them?
Because these are extra subscriptions. It's not part of your regular package. Like they want you to pay extra money for it. Now, granted, if you want me to pay extra, like certain countries, like I said, they're people who have taken care of them. The government that owns them takes care of them. Okay, the people who's supposed to be representing you can't even agree on whether you should get money or not.
Son, they don't give a shit about the people.
This is what I keep trying to tell
this
people.
Is what I've been,
how much?
We've been saying this forever. We've been saying this the 1200 came and gone, and in the summer nobody was saying nobody. They're talking about we gotta figure what out. Figure what out? There's nothing to figure out. You're leaving your people out to dry. But then you want them to vote for you. And people steadily went out there, voted, did all this. And now here you go. What? What's changed? Now they're telling you they don't know if they can even make a deal. Now they're trying to wait to see for the runoff for the 2 senators in Georgia to see who controls what before they can give you money.
And that's in January.
Okay. And December 31st, the CDC lifts the evictions.
Yeah.
So people who haven't paid their mortgages and shit like that, if you owe, you're going to owe them when they lift. And nothing can be done because he doesn't get sworn in until like the 22nd.
Yeah, something like that. 16.
Some shit like this, whatever it is, whatever day it is.
I think it's the 20th.
Somewhere around there, he gets sworn in. Yeah. But you telling me, once again, go real quick back to basketball, their season just ended in October or some shit. Or whatever, like October. Yeah. And here they are talking about, we're going to have y'all back on TV by Christmas. What?
Well, that is when you're a $40 million slave. You do as the master says that you do.
But once again, people are going to be hurt even more. And you're talking about sports. We're talking, you know what I'm saying? Those is getting their money still because, they had the league is going to get now. They're putting it on TV because they got to because they got contracts with TNT, ESPN. They got contracts with DirecTV, all this shit, NBA packages, and all these damn things. They lost money off of.
Right.
So now they're trying to get their money, and they coming back charging you the same shit, or even more probably, to make up for the loss. Come on, this is capitalism at its finest.
Right.
Capitalize on the weak, punishing them.
The rich got richer.
You closing down businesses like mom and pop restaurants and businesses. Yeah, people feel like, they supporting them, calling DoorDashes and the Postmates and things like that. If they're not big businesses, you're hurting the mom and pop because mom and pop got to split that with them. No?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's sad. It's just like, it's sad because everybody in other parts of the world, when I speak to family in other parts of the world, my family at least, they're like, what the hell is going on out there? What is going on out there? I got family in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I got family in England. I got family in a lot of places. You know what I'm saying?
You got family in South Africa, fam? Shout out to South Africa on the downloads and listen to the show, man.
You know what I mean?
India, too. Yeah,
I
India.
ain't got no family in India.
You ain't got
I ain't got no
somebody
family.
knows somebody that knows somebody.
I ain't got no family in India, but you know what I'm saying. But what
That's
I
the ones
was,
with the red dot on their head, right? Those are the Indians. Yeah.
so I'm just saying that people is watching. They're watching America. They're watching you. They're watching you and laughing at you. Other countries is laughing at you. They're laughing at you and laughing at you. You know how, you know, they look at what they're doing to their own people. You know, like
True.
it's damn near criminal. It's, you know what I mean? Like, people out here hurt, and you know they don't have no answers. They have no answers. You know, once again, I said this early in the year. If anything, this has showed you. It shows you that America has a lot of bad leadership all over. It's bad leadership everywhere.
It wasn't just Trump.
It wasn't just Trump. It was bad leadership from the Senate to the House, to the governors, to the mayors. Just bad leadership. People need. If this ain't showed you anything, you need to be more preoccupied with who you're voting for in your area and those and things like that. Because basically they've shown you that the states are responsible for their people in their states.
That's it.
The federal government is not going to, you know, be bailing you out. At least, you know what I mean? So, I mean,
I think we all learned a valuable civics lesson the last 9 months. If you didn't know about it, we, you know, obviously we studied it, but people are actually getting to see it play out in front of their face. You know, many people. The states have rights. That's it. The federal government cannot come in and supersede a state right. You know what I'm saying? Without an overabundance of evidence, a state Supreme Court is not going to be overruled by the federal Supreme Court unless you have overwhelming evidence. They're not going to do that. And, you know, these frivolous lawsuits by the president were ridiculous. Like, the only case that I saw that he might have had was the one in Georgia where they pulled the ballots out from under the table and they took him out violating protocol.
But was that shit even real?
Well, I watched the video. I don't know how real it was.
I watched the video, but I'm like, you gotta know cameras is in there. You know cameras is in there.
The camera.
How did they get a camera in there to see that?
No, you know what footage that was? That was the arena footage. That was the arena. Remember, they was in the Atlantic Hawks arena. That was the arena footage.
Okay, that was the
that was their footage. So they didn't know what cameras is in there, and the only reason that them cameras is in all over the place is for like slip and falls when people be trying to sue the arena, or I slipped and I fell. You know, they got cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
that had nothing to do with politics. They went and they subpoenaed the arena footage, and that's how they saw the damn ballots being pulled from under the table, which is crazy. And if you really think about it,
I've seen it, and I
remember.
Like, how did I get a camera in there? Because I didn't know where it was actually. I didn't know exactly where it was, so I was just like, I know it was in Atlanta. I know it was in Georgia, but I didn't know whether it was like it was in the Hawks arena. I should say I didn't know it was in there.
It was in there.
And when I saw the video, I was just like, okay. I'm like, if this ain't told you any, I don't give a fuck what you pull out. Yo, tell Trump shit is up.
It's over.
It's over, bruh.
The gig is up. They showing you like this. The gig is up. They showed you the ballot.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It ain't, listen, I don't care. This is just basically when Hillary lost and she said the Russians, you know, basically fucked with the balloting machine and all that type of shit. And Trump supporters was like, nah, get out of here, you lying. That's basically what you getting what you got back 4 years ago. Now you saying, oh, you got robbed. They're like, yeah, we hear you, whatever. They showed proof that the Russians interfered with the elections. They didn't care. They didn't give a shit.
There's also proof. Yeah.
So now you see that, you know, people is vote. They, you know, they rated the dead people to vote or whatever the case may be. They pulling bags from under the table, whatever, bro. They don't even care. You not the man, and that you know, you not part of the deal no more.
The gig is up, bro. That's all they said. Like,
the deal is that Biden, it's his shot. He gonna get his turn. You had your use. don't matter. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could the judges you put in there, they've been notified. The gig's up. Throw that shit out. We not entertaining none of that shit. We not even trying to entertain that shit because
we're not even hearing that case.
Because if you entertain that shit and it comes up that this shit is true, then everything in American politics is ruined. It's ruined. It's ruined after that.
Well, they showed it to you in your face by having that video out there.
How many times you show shit to people and you know it's the truth and they still don't give a fuck?
Right, and that's where we are.
That's where we are right now. You show it to people in their face and they still don't give a fuck. You can say, yo, this, just like you said, yo, this is a video footage from the Hawks arena that they got cameras in. Their arena captured it. They're like, yeah, whatever. I don't know nothing about it. What the fuck? This shit is up, man.
Yeah, the gig is up.
Gig is up. We don't give a fuck. We don't care. We don't care. He's out of here. We don't care. Him and his politics is gone. You know what I'm saying? And to keep it all the way 100, and I say this all the time, if Trump would have did, if he'd have did much better during this pandemic, he would have won again, easily. He'd have won.
If he would have just did an executive order to send out another check, he would have won.
He tried to do that.
I know he tried. Yeah, he tried. They blocked it.
They blocked it. You know what I'm saying? He tried. He knew that. He knew if he put money in the people's hand one more time, he would have won.
Yep.
He knew that. But they wouldn't let him put the money in their hand. They wouldn't okay the money. You know what I'm saying? Because that way he would have won. They know that. That's why they put all kind of shit in the bill. You got to do this. And they knew that people wasn't going to agree to some of these things, you know? So, I mean, listen, man. People are going to be faced with a lot of tough choices in the new year. There's a lot of things you're going to make decisions about. You're going to make a decision about, you know, what the government is telling you. You're going to have to decipher on whether this shit is real or not. You're going to have to you're going to have to do a lot of research. This is not time for you to take shit at face value time. This is research time, question time, because these people have not shown that they have your best interest at heart. So how can you say anything that they're saying and pushing out to you now that you can believe? Because they haven't showed that they care enough about the American people to do anything for the people. They haven't shown that. They haven't shown that not once. They haven't shown it through this whole shit. The ones, you know, it looked good when they gave out the $1,200 and the $500 for every kid and all that. It looked great. That shit wore off real quick. And now people are back like, yo, what's the fuck is going on? And all your local politicians can tell you is they're fighting for you. They're fighting. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. People are losing everything they put their money into and everything. I mean, there's other ways out here, but people have, you know, mortgage homes and everything to build their businesses and to make it a success. And now they're hurt. You know what I mean? They're hurting. It's like, you know, people have bought Subway restaurants. They invested in these things for that income, for that cushion. That shit ain't no more cushion. Because them shits you don't know if your shit can stay or you can't get people to come in. You're hoping that people will order from you on these apps or, you know, all kind of shit.
Right.
You don't know. It's a lot of businesses out here, you know. It's a lot of little businesses. And they're hoping to make some money. You know, it's sad. So, you know, yeah, you're going to make a lot of decisions. Are you going to take, if it comes down to your job and taking a shot of something that took less than 9 months to make, some shit like that, I'm going to have to, you know, that's something that I'm going to have to pass on because I'm like, that's not something, you know, I don't have that kind of faith in these people to believe that they're going to do the right thing. And then you're going to do the right thing to black people? You're pushing it more to us. Why are you pushing it more to us?
Because Black Lives Matter.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. That shit, like, I'm not trying to hear that. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're pushing that shit to the people, and go push. You know what I mean? Push that shit to your people. Why the fuck are y'all not pushing that shit to your people? Like, you act like you doing us a favor. How are you doing us a favor? You're not doing us a favor. If anything, you should be more suspicious that they're doing this, and people are not. They're sitting there like, yeah, we need this. So you're not going to get back to your normal way of living. Cut that shit out. That's dead. You know what I'm saying? They're already talking about he trying to mandate masks for like 6 months or whatever it is in every way. But once again, he can't. I don't even know if he can do that. It's up to the states. And a lot of these governors is not doing that. They're like, nah, I'm not doing that.
States have rights. We're going to keep learning that throughout the whole process.
They're not going to do that. Like, if you don't know how this shit works, go get you a book, man, like my man said, and read some. Read up. You get up on your facts. Get up on what's going on. Understand what your shit is. Understand what your rights are. Understand shit. Like, stop sitting there taking everything on social media as facts. Shit ain't facts. Everybody's pumping out their agenda on this shit. Mm-hmm. You gotta be smart on what you're gonna do. Yeah, because your livelihood is on the line. Everybody's livelihood is on the line. Understand that. Everybody's jobs is on the line. Every time you want to travel, that shit gonna be on the line.
No doubt.
You understand? So people need to smarten up, like, real quick. Like, you didn't want to learn in school, but you're gonna learn in life. So you better learn this shit, because this shit real. And this shit ain't going away. Like, it's not going away. Like, you're not going to jump in the new year. The new year ain't going to bring no new change. It's going to bring more shit. So, y'all better get your shit right, man. Get your shit, strap up. Get right. Because shit is real out here right now. People out here is going to be hurting if this government don't start helping. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it ain't gonna be just black people and brown people hurting either. So let's be clear on that shit. It ain't so you're gonna, just gonna be everybody. And when the sum turns to everybody, that's when shit get out of crazy, because people gonna get mad. So yeah. So I mean, that's what it is on that question. Like, you're gonna have to make a choice, but get your facts, get your information, make sure you're getting it from credible people to make your decisions. Because your job and everything, your kids, everything, you gotta make choices for them now. Yeah, I get it, you gotta work and you need somebody, your kids in elementary school and all that. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna need to figure out some things. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need to figure out some things.
The choices is for them. It's for the kids. Yeah. It's all about the kids right now, baby.
Like that shit that they going down passing, saying that they can, your kid be in school, whatever. Nah. Like, New York, Como, out of line. He out of line. I told you from the beginning he was doing too much. He was doing
he was definitely doing too much.
He was politicking at the expense of New York to make a name for himself, to make his name bigger, so he can be brought up. He wants to run for the presidency. He wants I seen a post. Somebody said that he's on a short list to be AG.
Yeah, Attorney General.
Yeah, that's small for him. He ain't thinking like that.
Yeah, that is small for him. He's a governor already. Like,
yeah, that's small for him. He thinking big. Like, I could have had your seat, Joe. I just chilled.
Yep.
I'm going to wait, though, because I know you ain't going to be here for the whole 4 or the next 4. And I come swoop in. I'm going to be the new America's governor, because I stood up and went toe-to-toe with Trump. It was all TV shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck? He's up for an Emmy. That's how you know it's some bullshit.
Wait, he was up for an Emmy?
Yeah, believe it. For Emmy. Yeah.
Oh, man.
For his press conferences. Come on, man.
What?
Come on, son.
Wow.
It's all fucking bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So
I'm disappointed in that. Like, That's all I can say on that. You hit it on the head. Without me having to repeat myself, like you said it all. What was the last question? I think it was an entertainment question. Was this about Jaguar White? I think that's what it was, or just in general. I think that could fall under a relationship type question. Let me just put it like this. Let me say this: if somebody makes an accusation of a first person account of what happened, if you weren't there, you don't know what the hell happened. Okay, so obviously the woman has been through some things. Okay, whatever they are, her story is her story. So I'm not going to be here to try to discredit her because I'm a fan of somebody else. Like, I don't give a fuck about fandom when it comes to shit like that. See, we all got to have a moral compass on some things. If what she said has any inkling of truth, and I'm not going to say that I doubt her at all, but based on what I'm hearing, I'm not hearing too many people coming out to fight what she said. That's a problem.
Well, I think a lot of the shit she said too about a lot of these entertainers, it was already out there. And like, you know, it wasn't like surprising to most people. Like, a lot of things she said was already being said. It was already on YouTube's and all these blogs and all these gossip sites already. So I don't think it was like it wasn't like mind changing shit that people already knew. That didn't, you know, it wasn't like, oh shit, yo, look at here, this. Nobody's surprised by this shit. You know, then, you know, the things she said pertaining to her and certain rappers, whether it was Common or Talib, that's personal shit. We wasn't there. We don't know. I don't really know what, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what, she disappeared and now she's back and now she's all of a sudden, you know, I don't know if this is a hustle. I don't know what it is because you can't.
Is she back? Is she back? She disappeared like after she made all her statements. Like,
no, I'm talking about she disappeared for a minute off the music scene.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying, and then like recently she just came back and started doing these podcasts and coming out this you know, on YouTube, you know, just saying all kind of shit. And, you know, it's just clickbait shit everywhere. Jazz talking, exposing. I mean, you're not exposing shit that people already thought and heard or, you know, knew about. So, you know, it's like that information is you know, it ain't nothing new. So, ain't no, like I said, nobody's surprised by that shit. So, you know, and her personal shit, what happened with her, what she said happened, you know, once again, if it was, you know, it wasn't, it was like, yeah, you said the shit about Common, but you were in a relationship with the dude, and this way the story sounds, you know, that was relationship type shit out. I mean, you talking about another dude that you was in a relationship with him, and I mean, so I'm like, I don't even. That shit is like, really, it's like it's further. It's like so low on the totem pole. It's more like a distraction type shit, but it ain't really, can't really distract you if you already heard a lot of this shit already. You know what I'm saying? It was like she provided like, you know, names and dates and shit like, yo, this happened here and this person was dead. You ain't saying that. You just saying a person told you and you don't want to get her fired, but this and this happened and she's seen it. That's a lot of he says, she says shit. Like that's, you know, you can, you know, that's the type of shit you can do now with social media because it can travel. You know, you can put out a lot of he says, she says shit and it travels. But, you know, like I said, she got better proof or some shit, then drop that shit. If not, I ain't impressed and I don't really, that shit ain't gonna change. I
just stay away from that type of stuff because, you know, knowing what you know and who you've been around, you know, throughout your travels, you've seen some things. Like, you know what it is. So when I hear stuff like that, like, damn, you know, that was kind of like a relationship thing. Like I didn't know. I didn't have an opinion on it. Somebody asked me about it. I really didn't have an opinion on it. But if you ask me, could something like that happen? I would say, yeah, that could happen. I mean, I'm not saying it did, but it can happen. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. it's
I
like,
wasn't team her, you know what I'm saying? But she was going in on her female counterparts. Like she was going in on all of them,
yeah,
calling them hoes, and she gave stories,
yeah.
which was,
She's giving accounts of stories from the third person shit.
but the one story that she gave that was more personable to her was between her and Mary. And when you start doing that, this is where the fans kick in. Don't let your fandom take away from the fact that some people are fucking nasty human beings. You know what I mean? They do
Yeah,
grimy shit.
they do grimy shit.
You know what I mean? So that's not to say that she did. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
don't
like
don't discredit a person because
that's what I'm
you
saying.
don't
Like,
know who she is.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and the shit she said wasn't like mind blowing because you've heard that I've heard that shit about her before,
No doubt.
but it ain't been no solid proof of, ain't nobody can knock that shit down and say, yo, yeah, I was there and been vouching for her story and shit.
It's
So
not a deal breaker. The
yeah,
only
it's
thing
like,
that kind of amazed me about now, I could say the one part of the story that I didn't really think about was the whole that her ex-husband, Mary's ex-husband, left her and he's with her girlfriend. That's the only thing I was like, yo, that shit sound crazy.
I mean, he could be. He was with a lot of motherfuckers. He was spending
I
the bread
know.
on a lot of broads.
I
So
know.
I mean, okay, that's cool. Like, I mean, but what does that, what,
What
like,
does that mean? That doesn't mean
exactly,
anything.
that doesn't mean anything. So,
Yeah, that
like,
doesn't mean anything.
that doesn't affect my life. I don't, you know what I mean? She's moved on. He moved on. Okay, he would, like, whatever. Like, okay, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you can jump on social media and say anything about people, and it'll travel because that's what it's for. It's a platform to put shit out there, and if it hit, it's gonna travel all over, and everybody get it, and then they'll read it. But people wasn't making a big deal out of it because once again, it was like, okay, so what? Real shit is going on. What the fuck? Like, we don't hear this shit. Like, like we need to be focused on real shit. You focused on some shit trying to make this is your way of making money. This is your hustle. You know what I'm saying? This is your hustle. Hopefully they paying you for these video clips and shit. I don't know, but that shit ain't going. It didn't move me one iota, so I didn't really care.
Right, but I mean, I wanted to answer the question,
Yeah,
because
no doubt.
person asked, so I say, hey,
Yeah,
we'll touch on it. I don't really have a great opinion on it. It's just,
yeah, like it's
you know,
I
it's
don't have
relationship shit.
yeah,
It's
it's
relationship
relationship shit. Everybody is music business shit. It's Hollywood shit. It's all kind of
There
shit.
you go, Holly. And it's weird. It is a weird time. You brought up the great point that Hollywood is shut down, but yet they want to blast and stream through our TV and make us pay to watch their movies from home and charge us $20. They out their motherfucking mind, dog.
So that shit crazy. Like, I'm not paying that shit.
Oh shit!
Like, I was going. I had. I was. I was about to. I was in the crib. I was about to watch. What was it? I think it was Denzel's son new movie. I think it's some shit like Tenet or some shit like that. And I was like, oh shit. Let me see. What's this shit? Let me see. Oh, this shit out. Man, that shit talking about 1999. Like, motherfucker, you crazy? I ain't paying no 19.
Oh, you gonna try to make me pay for my couch?
Yeah, I was like, for 3 days, I get to watch that shit for $20.
Nah, you better. You know what though? Like, see, you better get an Amazon Prime account. I'd rather rent a movie for $3.99 than go try to pay 19. You crazy?
$19. I was like, oh shit. Like $20. They try to charge you $20 and sit and watch a movie. Because what was it? It was what was it? My daughter, Mulan. No, it was one of these Disney movies that came out. I think it's Mulan or something like
Mulan,
that.
Yeah, Mulan.
It was on Disney. So before it came to Disney Plus, if you didn't, and it came to Disney Plus in December, it was free if you got Disney Plus, right? It's free to watch. But before that shit was like $30
for Mulan.
Yeah, some shit. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we had Disney Plus, but I was like $30. Like I'm like, no, my daughter's like, oh, we'll just wait till December. I'm like, that's right. I ain't paying $30 for that shit. I ain't like no damn. I don't give a damn about that shit like that.
Now,
Like,
what platform was that on? They try to charge 30.
Disney. What do you mean?
So Disney Plus want to charge you $30.
But now it's free now if you got Disney Plus in December. It became free in December for Disney Plus members.
Right.
If you don't got Disney Plus, you're probably paying about $20 now.
Jeez.
So
okay.
So take that.
So take that one. I'm good. I'm good on Disney Plus. I'm good on HBO Max. I'm good on all of those platforms. Like I'm not getting. You know what? I understand. See, you know what happened? Hollywood came to the game late. The streaming business been in effect. I already know what I like. And if whatever I can't find, like right now, I see movies that used to be free on HBO and things like that. I look on other platforms. You got to pay for them.
You got to pay for them joints.
You know, so like
buy or rent. That's what they say. Buy or rent.
Buy or rent. Rent. Every now and then, Hulu might have movies. You know what I'm saying? Netflix might have movies, but certain movies I'm seeing that
Netflix is going up. They gonna charge. They going up. In the pandemic, because you motherfuckers won't shut up, keep propping their ass. Netflix and chill. I'm at the crib, straight to Netflix and chill. Man, fuck out of here. Now they try.
They're going up $2.
That's 50. Then that's 15. What is it? $15?
$17.99 for all your TVs in the crib. $17.99 for 4 TVs. $17.99. Up from $12, up from $13 to $17.
Yeah, mine is $13. Mine is $13 for 2 TVs.
Yeah, and then now, so if you want to go up and you want to have 4 TVs, you got to pay $17.99.
Yeah, so my shit would go up $15 because I ain't putting it on 4 TVs.
Right, I didn't see that it was going to raise for the middle bracket. You trying to tell me that the 2 TV price is going to go from $12.99 to $14.99?
Yes, sir.
Shit. Yeah, okay.
That's what I told. I told my kids I hardly watch that shit.
Word, you know what?
I'm not paying for these fucking overpriced shit. Y'all be putting to this shit.
I might have to reevaluate my shit. You know, it's either or. It's kind of like, all right, if you want 4 TVs, then I guess you're gonna have to do the $16.99 because it makes more sense than to have, you know what I mean? Like to have 4 TVs for $16.99. Or $17.99 is better than having 2 TVs at $15.99.
Son, you got to pay for
whatever.
I mean, if you look at everything, so if you got music streaming, you got to pay for one of them shits. If you got Hulu, you got to pay for Hulu. If you got Netflix, you got Prime, you got to pay for any of the HBO stars.
Yeah, that's all extra.
HBO Cinemax now.
Mm-hmm.
They got everything. Epics. Everybody got an app and stream.
I got Epic. I got Epics. It's $5.99. I got that one.
Yeah, that's cool, but I mean $5.99. What you want? BET Plus. BET charging you $9.99.
I don't want that shit. I don't want BET.
I'm just saying this was everything is out there and charging you for shit. So it's like, you getting hammered everywhere you go.
Oh, no doubt.
You get hammered everywhere you go.
So check it though. You could do all of that, right? You could put all of that, all of them channels you just named, and you still not gonna pay the price if you got the top cable package or the middle cable package. You still coming out cheaper.
Yeah, because they charging you like $200-$300.
They charge you. The top package is close to $250.
Yeah.
So,
and more if you got internet service.
That's what I'm saying. So if you got internet
service, that's damn near close to $300.
So for all my triple play people, because they're gonna come out the woodwork. So let's say you got triple play, and you still gonna pay $220 your first year. So you could get all them apps that I'm talking about, put them together, and you're gonna pay about $140. I'd rather pay $140 for everything that I like and get everything I need than to pay $220 for your so-called, supreme package or whatever, platinum package. I'm tired of them using these hip hop fucking terminologies too. Platinum this and diamond that. Like You try to game me, man.
So everything is a game, bro. They game you for everything. Like you paying for everything. So, and the thing is, like, they charging you and they like, yo, they telling you it's a pandemic, right? But everybody's charging you more money for everything.
But you ain't getting no money.
But you ain't getting no money.
Everything going up but your check.
Exactly.
Yo, and one of the proposals that was out there that they tried to talk, they said a $600 check. That they shot that shit down with the quickness. They was like, yo, don't bring no proposals here that got less than 1,200. How you gonna put a proposal forth and say $600? Let's just say that you put something forth.
I mean, I'm telling you, son. They showing you every time.
Wicked.
They don't give a shit. They don't care, bro. They don't. I'm telling you, man. They don't give a fuck. That's obvious. They don't care. They don't. They showing the people and the people, but the people, man, it's the people. They're allowing this to happen. They're allowing this. They're allowing to let this go. They're allowing this. You can't blame anybody when the people are allowing the shit, and they had a chance to change all that, and they didn't. So,
Okay. So did we answer all of the questions? I mean, 'cause I know
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, because we had to check in. It's December 12th. We wanted to check in with the people, and we going into the new year. We got a lot coming forth.
Yes, sir.
It looks good. It's crazy. In the middle of chaos is a quiet storm, and we good. Like I feel good. The outlook is good because you know why? We have common sense. And we have the ability to have foresight and hindsight. I know what mistakes I made in the past. I won't make them going forward.
Yes, exactly.
So I feel pretty good.
Critical thinking, people, is essential. You have to use critical thinking.
Well, hold on. You have to have that.
I know a lot of y'all skip. I mean, it was a course in college. I know a lot of you didn't take it. You ran from it, but you probably should have took that course. It can help you. It can really help you right now.
Which one? Critical thinking 101? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Like philosophy too. Philosophy 101.
Philosophy.
You gotta have an internal clock, an internal compass. You need that. You know what I mean? Because they're giving it to you in your face. They're giving it up. They're showing you what it is, but you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be. It's not a game. Like they showing you what they're doing. Yo, we don't care about you. Other countries are taking care of their people. You want to be taken care of. They're not doing it, and it's unfortunate. But this is where we are right now. So let's watch it play out. We'll see what it is. I've been pushing the ebook out there, Medical Apartheid. But hey, I got a book out there. Push back beyond the worst. Go get it. Go get it.
Cop that.
I'm with you. I'm part of the people. I wrote it. You know what I mean? Like I'm with you. The people that's supposed to represent you don't care. So read something, get some education and knowledge from somebody that does, and maybe we can all come up with a solution. Because our backs is against the wall. Because it's coming. Take this shot, or keep your kid home. Take this shot, or lose your job. You know what? We're gonna have to stand up. Like we got to do some special elections or something. Read that Constitution, like get in there. That's the law of the land. That didn't change. The Constitution is the law. Forget all this other shit that they try to do. Like the law of the land still stands. So get up in that book. Get some knowledge. Like, yo, don't be hurt that you've been duped by the people that's supposed to represent you. Let's take action. That's all we got to do. There's more elections coming up. People that didn't do shit for you, you was waiting on the check, they didn't get it. That person that's supposed to represent you, you don't know whether they was for you or against you. Shit, get them out. Start over new. Fuck it. Hey, I wish the brother in Baltimore, the young brother, can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, I seen him.
Yeah, the young boy, 36 years old. The mayor of Baltimore. You got a lot of work to do, brother. But more power to you. We wish you luck. Hopefully you keep your soul, because you're going to see where the dead bodies is buried and why the city is in the condition that it is. Don't turn your back on your people. Okay, that's my message to the mayors, especially a young black man brother. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Definitely, definitely. That's gonna be big. That's gonna be big.
So I don't know about anybody else, but I like the live platform. Next time we'll come on, we'll have our stuff on. You get some people want to see your face. I don't know why, but it's okay. You know what I mean? But it's all good. We came live. We bring it to the people. I mean, this is what it is. You know what I mean? So I do like this platform. I think we'll be multitasking on multiple platforms, and it's all good. I actually like the idea that people could communicate with you in real time very quickly and still stay behind their keyboards. Because I don't want to take phone calls anymore. You really don't. I mean, I don't mind, but this seems like a good thing. We could open the lines of communication. We can answer questions and, get our minds right. This is what it's about now.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the two grumpy men, we in the building. We out of here. We gonna be back for the new year. We gonna do it right.
Yes, sir. We catch y'all definitely in the new year. If anything before that happens, believe me, we'll jump back on real quick and let you know.
This is what it is, right? We just gonna have to jump back online, right? And if you're a part of the group, Two Grumpy Man group on Facebook, yes, it's not an invite thing, but it's a referral. I gotta know somebody that know your ass. So okay. Bobby May gotta know somebody that know your ass. You just don't roll up in the group because we don't do well with the agents, brother.
Yeah.
Unless you was already an agent and I ain't know. But then you in there, tell your other people. But believe me, they're gonna come through a referral. And I'm gonna be like, who is this motherfucker? You already know. It's all love though. But the two grumpy men, C. Grooms and Bobby May, we out of here, y'all. Peace.